Hello guys, CyberDragon here, bringing you guys the next part of What If Deku was Bane. Sorry I haven't been recording as often, I've been busy as in my community posts. If you don't check those out, then sometimes you don't get those news updates, but yeah, as mentioned in that, I'm planning on vacation on August 5th through the 15th, so you won't get videos throughout those months, I'm sorry. I'll still be working on what ifs, like developing the stories on my free time, after we do a bunch of different stuff during my vacation. In between stuff, like after going to amusement parks and whatnot. Um, but yeah, but I will still record. I'm hoping to get Bane at least done before then and start on some new what ifs well, I'm not gonna tell them yet, but I will post what ifs will take place of Deku Bane and Pride because those two are close to being done. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. We start off with Deku walking into the bar of the LOV with Chrono and Rappa on his back. Where they get in there, they see Shigaraki and Kurogiri waiting for them. Sir, I don't see why you're here. We have what we need when we paid you. So I don't see why you want to join us. Because I would like to see what my venom is being used for. Last time I checked, once you get paid for something, it doesn't belong to you. So I don't think the venom belongs to you anymore. Young master, it would be in our best interest to let them join. We could use the extra help, and I think Bane would be interested in what our plans are using for the venom. And what is the plans exactly? Fine. Kurogiri, bring out the Nomu. At once. Kurogiri opens up a warp gate, and once he does, Nomu comes walking through it. It's the same Nomu as the USJ one, but it has canisters of venom strapped into his back, and tubes poking through it. What is this monster? This is Nomu. He has been created to kill All Might. He has shock absorption and regeneration. Also, naturally, as strong as All Might. But with your venom, he will truly be a killing machine. Do you think this is wise? I've never seen a personal creature like this, so I don't know what venom will do to it. I'm sure it will be fine. With all of this now, it will be a surefire way to kill All Might. Fine. I want to witness your endeavors to do this. Fine. But if you're coming with, you're making yourself useful. I can pull my own weight, little man. Then prove it. The reports we stole said some of the teachers will be there. A racerhead of Class 1A will be there. We were going to use a lot of low-level thugs we were picking up from the street. But I think you could take him out with no effort. So I want you to deal with him. That is child's play. Then you shouldn't have any issues. We still have a few hours, so I guess make yourself comfortable. They all start to. Deku and the rest of the members start to converse. Chrono bringing up the fact that Mirko is in the city still. So Deku made a phone call to her and asked her if she could babysit Eri, keeping a cover up of him being in a business meeting as a good cover up for him. She agrees, but is suspicious on what his business truly is. He never sees him. He can't see him behind a desk at an office building. Nor can, but nor can she think of someone as intelligent to be in a simple factory. A few hours later. Alright, it's time now. Chrono, Rapper, I need you two to be on standby with me. Understood, sir. Fine, but I want a good fight. I'm getting pumped. Talking about killing All Might. Only if we need to. So, I'd rather not fight the oversized clown if I don't need to. Then let that thing kill it. But if the time does come, I will personally break him. You will offer support. Fine. Alright, let's go. Everyone starts to walk through the warp gate. As in canon, the Class 1A seizes them. So, in the center of the USJ with goons all over. You really did get the bottom of the barrel when it comes to villains, didn't you? Shut it. It's all we needed. Numbers, not quality. That's what the Nomu is for, you three. Deku looks around in the class and sees Bakugo in the crowd. Of course he's here. Who is? No one important. Very well then. So, it looks like Eraserhead is on his way down. You want me to deal with him, or let the goons try their hand? No, I will deal with him myself. He's only known how to deal with people with quirks, but I don't have one. So I don't have that limitation weakness that others do. Very well. It looks like Eraserhead is already here. So Deku walks forward. As I would start to deal with the villains, he sees. As he does, he sees the giant muscular man approaching him wearing a Vessel's mask. Step back. He's mine. All the thugs does. Good. Now we can have our fight uninterrupted. And who might you be? You don't look like those low-level thugs. No, I'm not. But as for who am I will be your bane. That's a bit on the nose, don't you think? Maybe. But so is your Eraserhead. Enough talk, though. Let's fight and see who is really able. Deku rushes at Aizawa, who uses his quirk, but notices Deku isn't slowing down, and Deku ends up throwing a punch at Aizawa, who only to pull up a block with his arms, but to be sent back with a punch, and feel both his arms break by the impact. I broke your eraser quirk. See, even you, the man who fights quirkless, relies too much on his quirk. Well, I don't have to. Your ultimate flaw is thinking that people are weak without a quirk. Did you know that the human body has the potential to lift up a whole car? As Deku lifts up Aizawa by the throat. Aizawa tries to kick Deku's arm, but to no effect. How pitiful. I'll admit, I like your spirit. It's not easy to break. But no matter how strong the spirit is, it can still be broken. Deku holds up Aizawa up in the air. And I will break your spirit. And you. Deku slams Azara onto his knee, breaking his back on the impact. Azara screams out in pain as everyone around them could hear the sick crunch of Azara's spine breaking. Let this be example to all those who oppose me. I will be your bane. Deku throws Azara onto the ground. All the thugs and villains started to cheer as Azara's class looked down in horror, seeing their teacher severely mangled on the ground, unable to move. As Chikaraki's pissed on the sight, he's getting the praise for all of this, as Deku walks back to Shigaraki and Kurogiri. There, he's dealt with now. What are you gonna plan on doing with the students? As he looks over at 1A and 13, who's still at the stairs, with Kurogiri hasn't done anything to warp them. Simple. Kurogiri, do your job. Yes, master. Everything goes the same, but since Kurogiri did get up there later, Ida already got out long before. The thugs were about to approach Azara to finish him off, but Deku stops them. Don't kill him. He's already defeated and lost more than he will ever get back in his life. From this point on, he's already dead. What are you thinking? So I'll finish him off myself if that's the case. Shigaraki starts to approach Azara, and when he was about to reach for him, Chronos stabs Shiggy with one of his hairs, slowing down his movement to a crawl. The boss said, the word is final. I'm the boss here. Shut it, little man. The effect will wear off in an hour, and All Might is on his way. So just stay there. When he arrives, your monster can kill him. We can all go home, and you can continue your plans. Now, you know what? As Shigaraki pressed the button in the venom device that's attached to Nomu's back. So, the venom goes through the Nomu rapidly, making its veins glow, its spine protruding from its back. And it's screaming out in pain with glowing green eyes. Kill them now, Nomu! The Nomu's muscle mass bulge out with glowing veins even further, and narrowing his eyes at Deku. Deku instantly pressed his button to inject the pure venom into his system as well. It looks like two venom-filled mountains of muscle as Nomu then rushes at Deku. And Deku puts up a guard to block the attack. But he wasn't sent back by the impact. Alright then, let's dance! Deku and Nomu starts to fight, but for obvious reasons, the Nomu was getting the upper hand, but Deku was using his understanding of actual fighting techniques of martial arts, where he was able to stand his ground from the Nomu's attacks. Even with Nomu's quirks, its muscle mass is far too greater to heal anything permanent. Rappa and Kronos want to help too, but they couldn't get close. After a few seconds, All Might ended up busting through the door, and he sees Azara on the ground. But his focus was on Deku and Nomu, who was destroying everything in their fight. Deku and All Might couldn't tell who was attacking, but he made a choice and rushed in. As we cut over to Deku and the Nomu fighting, So, Deku was able to block an attack from the Nomu and to push Nomu's arms back. But All Might came in and punched Deku aside, sending him flying away. All Might then turned attention to Nomu, who slams his fist into All Might's weak spot. Then Nomu dug his fingers into the torso and tore out a chunk of All Might's flesh and ribs and some vital organs. All Might screamed back, and he held his weak spot, trying to hold his organs in and the blood in his body. The Nomu then rushes at All Might, punching him across the face and breaking the jaw on his impact. All Might stood there in shock as Nomu then threw an uppercut, destroying the head of All Might. His blood, brain matter, and bone fragments flew everywhere as All Might's body fell to the ground, deflating into his weakened form. The Nomu looked out a giant scream of victory as everyone watches in horror, as the villain starts to cheer and laugh at All Might's death. Yes, he's finally dead! Now, Nomu, finish Bane! The villain starts to cheer as a villain walks up next to the Nomu to get a better view of All Might's dead body, only for the Nomu to grab the villain's head with his giant hands, crushing it like a grape. Everyone saw the blood drip from the Nomu's hands as the villain's body fell to the ground, missing his head. And the Nomu turned to the crowd of villains. Nomu, what are you doing? I didn't tell you to do anything. Everyone starts to step back away from the Nomu as it took a few steps closer to them. And then the Nomu rushed full force, speeding into the crowd of villains and slaughtering them, ripping them apart, leaving only blood and hair as evidence that they were people once. Even just rushing through them destroyed some of their bodies, exploding from impact at speed. What is going on? I never gave these commands! With that amount of venom, so you put yourself into its mercy. It even followed one command, no longer in your control. Shigaraki looks back at the Nomu in fear as the Nomu looks at Shigaraki and starts approaching him. No, Kurogiri, help me! Kurogiri was about to try to save Shiggy, but Rappa grabs the metal plating on Kurogiri and slams him into the ground, holding him in place. Shigaraki tries to run, but with the effects of Kronos Quickcell activated, he could barely move. And the Nomu was now in front of Shigaraki as he put both hands around Shigaraki's body and starts to squeeze tighter and tighter. And it eventually gets so tight it started breaking Shiggy's bones, his arms, spine. Shigaraki starts to yell as his eyes start to fill with blood. His blood starts to spill out of his mouth and other orifices of his body, using all the strength and to destroy Shiggy in one piece only, leaving the messy mangled mess of Shigaraki. Everyone was horrified, but Kurogiri, he was able to get back to Awful One safely. And as Nomu starts to stand over what was left of Shigaraki, Deku took the chance to sneak up behind the Nomu, slamming his fist into the brain, killing it instantly. In good measure, ripping out the head of the Nomu. This is over. The beast that killed All Might, I've just killed. Who will stand against me? Everyone, as he said it, all the thugs and villains, or whatever was left of them, bowed down to him. Now then, we will be leaving. Heroes will be coming soon. We can't have all By my calculations, at the last 5 minutes, we can't leave through an emergency exit through the back with all these villains. Get as many thugs out of here then. I'll buy us some time in that case. And if the students try anything, or if any extra heroes show up. Understood, sir. So Chrono and Rappa rounded up all the villains from different areas to evacuate. And Deku waits, but nothing happens. So he tries to leave until he hears an explosion. So, in the words "bastard" being yelled, as he quickly turns around to grab Bakugo by the face. I was wondering if any of you would try anything. Damn you, bastard! I'll give you this. You're brave, but you also very dumb. Deku slams him onto the ground, cracking it in the process. He lifts up Bakugo by the head, Bakugo tries to lift up his hand, trying to release the explosion, but Deku stomps on his hand, breaking it. Gah! Not this time. I will break you just like I broke your teacher. As Deku lifts his fist up, a bullet went right through it. And his hand, it didn't really faze him, but he looked up and saw the teacher standing at the entrance. But when they saw the sight of DOJ, they were horrified. Out of time, I suppose. Know this, next time I see you, you better hope for your life. Deku kicks Bakugo so hard he hit the stairs leading up to the USJ, creating a small imprint of his body into it. Deku then rushed through the wall of the USJ, breaking it, giving some other men time to escape. The teachers were about to go after him, but they had to deal with the students and Azarin looking after them. But we cut to Kurogiri, who warped directly into All-For-One's room. Kurogiri, what happened? The Nomu, sir. It went wild and killed Tomura. I see. Did the Nomu do his job at least? Yes, sir. Well, not a total loss then. I'll admit, the death of Tomura is a bit of a blow to my plans. He is replaceable, and with all my dead, my plans can go into full motion now. Of course, sir. But what about Bane? What about him? He's still there, and how do we deal with him? Bane is an unexpected factor, but he does control the drugs trade, and also has a large influence over the underworld, like me. So it would be in my best interest to partner up with him. Do you wish for him to visit him soon? Yes, I think it would be best to set up a face-to-face negotiation with him. Very well, sir. I'll get him at once if he invade capture. Good. Said Bane, who knew you were going to be so much trouble? This will be interesting. End of this part. I hope you all enjoy. Pretty soon, this story will be getting more interesting by the time it's finished. See y'all later.